All right, welcome in, boys. Another week, another dollar. Take it to the bank. Gets the job done for the crew. Keg, Coop, here, back. Another week, Coop, and more winners, my guy. We hit 9-1 on Tyler Reddick. We finally got back on the outright train the right way. We hit some props. You hit a bunch of props. I think I hit two props. It was a good week, all in all.
Yeah, it was a good week. The cherry on the top would have been if Alex Bowman finished one spot ahead of Kyle Busch, and we could have got that top Chevy hit. I think it was 10-1. But other than that, not going to complain one bit.
Yeah, all in all, it was a good week. Now, if last week was the first week that you watched, you would be like, who are these clowns that bet on NASCAR and just do all sorts of weird shit with parlays? We wanted to get away from that this week. Didn't work out because of the pricing, but we'll get into that. But yeah, what were your takeaways from the first road course of the year? Tyler Reddick, man, that kid is a stud. It doesn't matter. It does, as long as he's on the track, he's live.
Like, is Tyler Reddick really that good? Because none of the other Toyotas were very competitive whatsoever.
And none were competitive last year on road courses.
Does he make that big of a difference, or does he have some type of sauce that he's not been caught with yet?
Listen. I am a big believer in. I always lean towards the performance of the car more than the driver. But there is something to be said for the fact that no Toyota was able to do anything.
But this new car is supposed to be really compatible. They're all supposed to have the same parts. They're all supposed to be very similar to each other. There shouldn't be that big of a difference between them. It makes me wonder, man. Is fucking Tyler Reddick might be the bomb, man. He might, just to place Chase Elliott as a road course king.
He's legit. I can't wait till Elliott gets back so we could see those two go to town. But yeah, I was really, really impressed. And I think would you say Kyle Busch, considering that he was in Reddick's car from last year, was disappointing yesterday or last week?
I don't know if I want to call it disappointing. I think at the beginning of the week, we all had high expectations. The tables were kind of reversed. Everybody thought, Tyler Reddick was going to, take a step down and Kyle Busch was going to take a step up. Well, it doesn't work out that way one bit whatsoever.
Right.
So, based upon our expectations for Kyle Busch, sure. But, overall, he wasn't horrible or anything. He wasn't stellar. I don't think he was a third place car or a second place car or whatever.
No.
Yeah, second place, I guess, since it'd be Bowman.
I agree. I agree with that.
I think he was top 10.
What did you make of Trackhouse, Chastain, and Suarez on the first road course?
I don't know, man. They had their spots. They did well, but they're just a tad off of last year, man.
Yeah.
Tad off.
I agree. And you know who else?
They're not a lot off, but they're just a tad off.
Buescher's off, too. He does not look as good as he was last year.
He was way off, man. Kudos to him for, driving that car to I think a 10th, 12th place finish somewhere in that ballpark. The car was not that good. He just did a good job of avoiding the late race incidents and things of that nature that would have, taken him down in the standings. So, sometimes you don't have to have a great car to finish well. And, kudos for him for doing that.
True. Before we move on, what did you think about Ford in general?
I don't know, man. McDowell, we talk about Buescher. McDowell wasn't, what he was last year by any means. Stuart Haas is really not that great on road courses other than maybe Briscoe. And I think he was, another letdown week for him. And then you got the Penske. I don't know. I mean, I think it's Chevy and then everybody else on the road courses, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, they finished 2, 3, 4, 5 behind Reddick. Cindric was the first Penske car, um, but Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney were just nowhere to be found all day long.
Nope. So I don't know. I mean, it's got to be a concern for both Toyota and Ford. They got to get that monkey off their back, and if it doesn't happen this week, I think it's really, 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 really concerning for them because we've been
I
to
don't.
all kinds of different tracks after this week.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So now we move to Richmond, right? Now we were at a short track a couple weeks ago, Phoenix. What would you say that the comps are for Richmond? Like Loudon, Gateway, Phoenix, Nashville, same shit as Phoenix?
Maybe not Nashville, but Gateway. I don't know if there really are too many because of the tire fall off here is a lot more than the tracks that it's wants to be compared to.
Right. Now, at Phoenix, Kevin Harvick was the stone nuts. Now, he didn't win the race, obviously, but we both love him to do exactly what he normally does on these types of tracks because he just starts picking you off, man. Once he gets 40 laps into a run, he really starts to make a move. And I expect him, and I think you do, obviously, to be in the same position that he was, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this is going to come down to it's a strategy race, and they're going to stop one time in the first stage. Then the second and third stage, it's going to depend. Do they stop twice or do they stop once? And last year, Harvick and Hamlin stopped once in one of the races, or no, they stopped did it twice and they chased them down. Excuse me, and ended up winning. So it all depends upon which strategy you want to go by. I think the biggest thing is if they do pit twice in the stage, it's going to negate the really, really, really long tire wear runs, and they're only going to be about 50 laps. You'll still have some tire wear, but if it falls right to where they only pit once, and that could be a huge benefit for Harvick and the other couple of drivers that are really good at managing tires.
Now, I know that Happy got there in the end, and he would have won that race for fun had that late caution not come out, right? But for 90% of that race, we were kind of iffy on whether it was going to happen because he just fell too far back. He got to that point where he would be about 2.5 seconds back once that car started to turn on. And it was, would he be able to make up the difference in time? It would be really interesting to see if that team made some kind of adjustment from Phoenix that doesn't allow them to have to make up that much ground. You know what I mean?
I mean, Kevin Harvick's not winning a 40-yard dash. I don't even think he's running 800 meters. He might not even be winning 1,600 or 3,200 meters, man. He's got to, compete in the marathon. And if he doesn't get that marathon, he'll still have a good car. I don't know if he'll have a race winning car.
Now, had that caution not come out, Tyler Reddick would have finished second. I see a lot of people not that high on him this week. I think, you and I think that he should run well. We'll get into that. But I think that he's going to pick up right where he left off, really. Not even from last week, from that Phoenix race. I think he's going to be there.
Yeah. I mean, he's being kind of hidden right now by William Byron. He's had some bad variance in the first couple races, but he's come back strong his last 3 races with a first, a fifth, and a third. If you look at the last couple of weeks, it's basically been him and Byron as the two fastest cars, in my opinion.
Yeah, Byron's car, I think, right now is in a league of its own so far this year. Yeah, Larson has looked good in spots. Kyle Busch has a win. Reddick looked good on the road course. Harvick, obviously, what he did in Phoenix. But if we're not going to mince words about it, right now, there is no car in that series that's hooked up as well as Will Byron's 24 right now. That's just a fact.
No doubt. But I mean, these teams go through stages where they run well for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, and
Right.
then they struggle for the next couple weeks. So right now has everything going right for him, but at some point it's going to turn. And it's just a matter of how long it takes him to get back. Wayne Byron started out like this last year, maybe not as well. He didn't have 2 wins, this quick, but he did have 2 wins in the first couple 10 races, I believe. And then, rumor is, they started using that as a test car. And, he didn't have the speed and so on and so forth. And he never really got back. He did have better speed in the playoffs than what he did over the summer, but he didn't have that type of speed that he had at the beginning of the year.
Now, you and I have not had many opportunities to speak glowingly of Toyota this year, but historically, they are a beast on this track. Truex runs very well here. Denny runs very well here. Bell, in his limited time with Gibbs, has been excellent here. I think the big question is, does Toyota finally show up this week?
Yeah. Like I said a few minutes ago, this is a huge week for them. They've got to make some waves and have a very good week, because I think, based upon what we've seen so far this season, if they walk away from here disappointing once again, it could be a long next couple weeks.
I agree. And if you look at that second Richmond race from last year, the fastest driver late in the run was Denny Hamlin. Second was Harvick. Third was Blaney. Fourth was Almirola. But fifth was Bell. So they had the two of the five fastest cars on the track last year in Richmond, late in a run, which is the kind of speed that you're looking for when you come to Richmond, right? So will that translate to this year? I don't know. How much does this new package change results from last year? I'm not sure. What do you think so far? Do you think we're seeing big differences from the results last year to what we saw in Phoenix?
I think we saw a little bit of a difference, as far as how the package, we saw more tire wear. We did see somewhat of a different driver pool near the top of Phoenix than what we kind of expected to see. So I think, the package is making a difference. I just wonder how, is tire wear going to be even worse with this package than what it was, in prior years? Or is it really going to be about the same? So, because the worse, obviously, the tire wear is, the better I think it helps Toyota and Kevin Harvick.
Do you rate the tire wear at Richmond even more severe than what we saw in Phoenix?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
I
that's
think
good.
it's right behind Darlington.
That's good news for where you and I want to be this week. That's for sure.
I mean, I think when you think of tire wear, you think of Darlington first, obviously.
Right.
And then, it used to be Atlanta, but now it's Richmond. But and then after that, I don't think there's really any other tracks that, do the tire wear like those two anymore.
So let's take a look at the odds. Now, I have a few books open. I should probably get Caesars up, though, because they normally have a ton of problems.
Right.
Let me get Caesars up. But no surprise, I'm just looking at DraftKings odds right now. By the way, DraftKings has turned into an absolute utter joke when it comes to NASCAR. I used to think there was nobody worse than BetMGM. That's over. There's nobody worse right now when you want to bet on NASCAR than DraftKings. There's no more in-game truck races. We've seen almost all in-game live props or numbers on Xfinity. Cup Series comes off the board faster than I think any other book out there. And the lines that they offer in the outright market before the race are a joke compared to the market. Like, I don't know what like, I know the stock price is down, but this isn't the way to cut the corner. I mean, like, give the people what they want. I'm sorry. I had to go on that rant, bro, because DraftKings been getting under my nerves lately. They really have. But they're Will Byron and Kevin Harvick are co-favorites at 5.5 to 1 now. Very surprising that 3 years ago, this is where Kevin Harvick was priced every week. But it's surprising because what did we have him at, Coop? Was it 12 to 1?
20 to 1 last year.
No, this year. Last year we had him at 20, right? This year at Phoenix, I think we got 12.
I believe so.
And now we're down to 5.5 to 1. So the books are no longer fucking around when it comes to Kevin Harvick on this type of track. The jig is up. So if you're going to back drivers like Will Byron and Kevin Harvick, you're either going to back them and basically them alone this week, or you have to get creative and different. And Coop and I have been doing shows. This is the third year now. And up until last week, we never, ever talked about any kind of parlays with outrights through 2.5 years of this show. But for the second week in a row, we got creative and parlayed our outrights with single bets to get better numbers because we wanted coverage and we wanted to be able to attack the in-game market should we need to if things go wrong with the drivers. And these numbers that we're looking at right here don't allow you to do that. Now, I hear a lot of noise, Coop, about everybody's like, hold off on Harvick until after practice and qualifying. To me, the fact that they set him at this number means if he qualifies 15th or 16th, I don't think they move that number $1. I don't think they move it at all. Doesn't the move on this number tell you we're probably not going to see a ton of movement after qualifying?
I think, first off, I don't think there's going to be any practice in qualifying. But if there were, for the sake of this, if he started 15th or 16th, I mean, I think Barstool has him at 700 right now. I think what you will see happen is what you said, like these drivers who don't qualify well or start, mid-pack to closer to the back, they'll take $1, $1.50 off of them, but they'll just drastically reduce the drivers that, did do well and take it off of them. And while leaving, the other, you'll just have a bunch of drivers at plus 1,000 or less, I guess is the easiest way to sum it up.
Right. So the first, Coop and I are on Kevin Harvick. Now you could bet him alone if you want to straight. Doesn't give you a lot of leeway to do anything else that you want, or you can get creative. We got creative and parlayed him. And I parlayed also Will Byron with somebody. Now I know you're not on Byron, Coop, and I'm not on Denny yet, and I think I will get on him. But 4 of the first 5 drivers on the odds board, we are on. Byron, Harvick, Chris Bell, and Denny Hamlin. Now, I'll probably join Coop on Denny Hamlin. And this is, like Coop said, a put up or shut up week for Toyota. And I think if we get burned here, Coop, we're probably not looking at back Toyota all that much in the coming weeks.
Probably not, based upon the tracks that are coming up.
Kyle Larson, 6.5 to 1. I don't even know if he's been the second best Hendrick car. I think Alex Bowman's right there with him. Alex Bowman's under the radar, has had a very good year so far. But I had no interest in betting him. Neither did you, right?
No, I mean, look, there's differences between Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson. Is Kyle Larson's had the faster car, all right? But just like what I said earlier about Chris Buescher, Alex Bowman's finishing the races. Kyle Larson isn't.
Right. Now, so we're both on Chris Bell. We think he will run well here like he normally does. Denny Hamlin at 9 to 1. Coop's on him. And I will probably get on him, although I'm not on him yet. But Coop, this is the guy I want to talk to you about. Because 2 days ago, you said, what about Marty? And I said, no. I gave you a flat out no. Mistakes were made. Okay? Mistakes were made. I kind of feel differently now. I kind of think maybe I jumped the gun a little bit. Started digging into Marty a little bit, and I think I take it back. I think I think he's live. I think he's live.
I mean, I'm definitely not going to be betting against Martin Truex this week. I'll tell you that much. This is his race, man. He's got to have a great week. And if he doesn't, man, he could be in for a long season. He started out better last year, but not, phenomenal than what he has this year. And he got to Richmond, and, he looked like a different person, looked like the old Marty, so to say. But the numbers were really good. And, because I think I remember wanting to get like a top 5 for Marty last year at this race, and Harvick at plus 300, 350, somewhere in that ballpark.
Right.
No way this year. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to bet him.
He had the second best speed rank at Richmond last year.
Like if Martin Truex was a 15 plus 15, I would be thinking about it seriously.
Yeah, that's the problem.
If he was plus 2,000, I would have already bet it.
The problem with him is that he hasn't shown you anything, and they only want to give you 10 to 1 on him. That's the problem.
And like early in the week, I mean, he was like 8.5, 9.
I know. So, but here's what I'll say. I think we have to file Marty under. We have to see what he's doing early in this race. I think the numbers are probably going to close well enough that it will be worth it for you and I to get on him early if we think that he actually might have a competitive car with the top 3 or 4 guys. I don't know if he's there yet, but I could see us getting on him live. Definitely.
One thing that's going to help is if this does get rained out, I think Harvick, Marty, and Denny all start like 11th, 12th, 13th, 10th, 11th, 12th, something like that. So they're all right next to each other. So that should help.
Yeah. All right. After Marty, 3 cars that you and I didn't really talk much about in our conversations this week. So I'm interested to see what you think. Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano. Kyle 11-1 currently at DraftKings. Blaney and Logano currently 16-1. What do you think about those three boys?
I mean, Logano and Blaney. Again, if we don't have practice and qualifying, they're going to start, in positions to where we're going to have enough time to see what kind of car they're at and be able to still bet them at a good number. Kyle Busch, I think he's around 12 right now. If it rains out, he'll probably go down to 8 or 9. I don't know. But it's kind of goes back to last week, where Kyle Busch has been really, 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 really good here, but Chevy hasn't been really, 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 really good here at all, and now he's in a Chevy. So I think a lot of people are maybe thinking he might have that slip like they were anticipating last week for Tyler Reddick that never happened. Kyle Busch is one of the better drivers when it comes to managing tires and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But I've got to see something out of him before I can bet him because of RCR just hasn't been good here.
I'll tell you though, of those three guys, the person that interests me the most is Ryan Blaney. I mean, the guy can't get a win to literally save his life, but third fastest last year at Richmond in the long run, right behind Denny and Harvick. I think he's going to be there for sure. If he stays clean, he's probably going to be fast. But I think he's a show me something before you bet him kind of guy this week.
Mm-hmm. I'm not worried about him. We'll have some time to know what we need to do on Blaney.
Tyler Reddick, Coop and I are on him. 20-1. Coop has a book that's total bullshit and should be illegal. And he got Tyler Reddick at 25-1.
It's not Bet-Fred either.
Us lonely, the guys that get the crumbs, they get the morsels of food. I only got 20-1.
Hey, there were like a handful of people that got my number. You were just slow.
Yeah, listen, mistakes were made, Coop. I don't want to talk about it. All right. But yeah,
what were they doing? Because
you mean the odds?
Yeah, literally. Like he had been at 1800 Monday, 1800 Tuesday, 1800. I don't even know what day I bet it, Wednesday or Thursday, but we'll say he was at 1800 on Wednesday. I just happened to open up the freaking app.
Wednesday night we bet it. Yeah, Wednesday night.
Well, yeah, Wednesday night. I just happened to look up the app and I'm like, Tyler Reddick plus 2,500.
I know
we've been talking about it. Boom, I'm hitting that bad boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's back down. He's back down to that 18-1 right now.
But why did they move him from 18 to 25?
I don't
25
know.
to 20, 20 to 18, now 18 to 16. Like
you and I we listen to other NASCAR podcasts. Obviously, we try to retain as much information as we can throughout the week. And a lot of people don't like Tyler Reddick this week because they're going off of how he's done at this track historically, I guess. Mm-hmm. Listen, man, that kid's going to be fast on Sunday, and he's going to be coming like he was coming at Phoenix this year. I expect him to be right there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you want to play pros and cons. Like, he wasn't very good at Phoenix prior to this year, and he did well. So, who's to say he couldn't do that this week?
Right.
He's in a Toyota, which, historically has been great here, not a Chevy. But then you look back at his Xfinity years when he was winning championships. I think he had a 4th place here and then like a bunch of 7th through 10ths. But again, he was in a Chevy, not a Toyota, which they still dominate on the Xfinity series too.
Right.
So, bottom line is when it hit the 25, it's, the guy is fast.
And the number's wrong. He shouldn't be.
Right.
Exactly.
He shouldn't even be 1,800.
I agree. So. If you're going to make Ryan Blaney 15 or 16 to 1. Tyler Reddick should be there or lower.
Right. I think they should be right around each other.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right. After
Tyler
that,
Reddick should be a little better.
After that, Chastain currently 18 to 1. Alex Bowman currently 18 to 1. Again, there are a couple Chevys, but with the exception of, Byron and maybe Kyle Larson, I don't really expect Chevy to be running all that well this week. Just like for many of the reasons that you just spoke of.
With the exception of who you said?
Byron and maybe Kyle Larson.
Okay. We'll come back to them. But yeah, Chastain did well in one of the races here last year. I think it was fall race. But then his car just went, the other way.
Right.
So he's kind of like Logano and Blaney to me. I mean, but the thing is, though, he's what, like 18 to 20? I don't have any interest in betting him, but that number is going to get cut if we don't have any qualifying in practice because he starts something near the front.
What do you think about Alex?
Well, the first thing I think about Alex is that winning means a lot to the odds. And if he would have won a race, he would probably be half of what he is. And if you still haven't bet him, he's still 30 to 1 to win the championship.
Yeah.
The number hasn't moved.
I thought we got value, and it hasn't moved at all.
Right, but I mean, if he wins, I bet you it gets cut down to 15.
Probably, yeah.
So, I mean, there is value there. It just goes back to showing how much they value wins. But again, not a great track for him. He's won here, but he hasn't led a lot of laps. I think top 10 finish. That's about it, man. I don't have high hopes for Alex Bowman.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right with you. He's always good to steal a late win when he's got no business being anywhere near the lead. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, Diego's probably bet him 15 times already, but
yeah. Well, listen, when you make 30,000, 40,000 in a race, that's what you do. You know what I mean?
That was freaking crazy. I mean, that day he just kept on saying, "I can't believe this."
Yeah,
I'm hitting them again. Like they just
unbelievable.
Never moved the number.
Just like that, another kid through college for the year. Congratulations. All right, 2 cars, Fords. We think Ford should have somewhat of a good day. Keselowski and Chris Buescher. What do you think about them?
Which RFK shows up, the fast one or the slow one? They're so inconsistent from week to week.
My gut says Keselowski runs better.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. But again, he's going to be starting near the back, mid-pack, whatever. We'll have time to see what kind of car he has. But the thing is, like, Keselowski likes to play the strategy, so I'm going to see, strategy is either going to put you in a great position or it's going to sink you. It never puts you in the middle.
Yeah. After that, I mean, you got Suarez, Berry, Briscoe, Wallace. Oh, what do you one guy, Almirola, what do you think about him this week? He runs pretty good here.
Yeah. I talked about strategy and, depending upon how they cycle through these pit stops, if it stays green, which it should, I think there's 3 or 4 drivers back there who I wouldn't mind taking a shot at, but I'm not going to take a shot at all of them. It'll just be, whichever one prevails strategy-wise.
Right.
But Amarola is one of them.
What would be a couple other ones?
Austin Dillon. A guy that you don't want to hear his name.
Not Ty Gibbs.
No. Chase Briscoe.
Oh, stop. Briscoe. What an epic disappointment he's been this year.
I think I'm just going to bet him every week, man. And then, I'll have enough money on him by the end of the year where I break even.
All right. Do you think the cars that we're talking about right now, right? 50-1, 60-1. You think they
I
have
would
top
put
10
Amarillo.
upside?
I was thinking about that, but I think I would rather go the other direction if we could find the second leg, because I think they have more top 10 upside. And even though it's a less number, I would rather pay that number than because I mean, like, even if you look at like Briscoe and Amarillo, they're only like 180, 200, right?
I'll check now.
They're not like they were a couple weeks ago with the top 10s, and you could get some, 350s or 400s.
Yeah, right now at Caesars, you got Almirola. Wow, that's crazy. He's only plus 150. 50-1 to win the race and plus 150 to crack the top 10. Austin
Hey.
Dillon 2-1.
So speaking of that, look at Kevin Harvick's top 10 number there.
Minus 400 at.
And look at Kyle Larson's top 10 number.
Minus 250.
Now go to winner of the race. And look at those two.
550 and 6-1.
And who's 550? Kyle Larson, right?
Right.
So how can his odds be worse than Kevin Harvick's when it comes to top 10?
Theoretically, that shouldn't be. Right.
And I mean, it's not even close. It's $150 on the top 10 or number.
Yeah, I'll tell you, week in, week out, Barstool has the best top 10 prices. So I'm going to pull them up. But we've basically covered that's the outright market. We could start looking at top 3 and top 5 before we get to top 10. Any top 3 or top 5s interest you?
I can't do top 3 because of I can't do top 3 because of Harvick, because of Hamlin, because of Bell, because of Truex, Byron. Like, there's just too many people
that should be up there, right?
That could get there,
right?
Top 5, I feel a little more confident in. One that I had written down was to take Bell and Hamlin, and I think both of them could finish in the top 5, and I think one of them should. And if one of them should, you'll get a little bit of a profit. But yeah, I think both of them can.
Yeah, I agree. Both of them can. I agree with that.
But you think one of them should?
Yes, I think both. I think both of them should, but one of them probably definitely does.
So
yeah,
that was the top 5 bet I was looking at.
Yeah,
because like I said, you can bet both of them, and if only one of them gets there, you make a little bit of money.
Right. Looking at I'm just pulling up the top 10 market at Barstool. All right, top 10s. What do we got? See, now I feel like such a poser, bro, that we're talking like this the last couple weeks. But when I looked at the top 10 market this week, there were 2 people that I wanted, Kevin Harvick and Chris Bell. Now, obviously, we're not going to like minus 275 and minus 200 on Chris Bell and Kevin Harvick. We're going to, again, have to get creative and tie them to somebody to get around even money, plus 105. But if you can get that first leg home, I mean, I absolutely love Kevin Harvick and Chris Bell at plus 110 to crack the top 10.
Yeah, go back to Caesars, because I think you can get better numbers on Hamlin and Bell there. One of them was like minus 190. I think Hamlin.
Yeah, Yeah, Denny is minus 190. Bell minus 220. Harvick minus 400. So the best place, at
I mean,
least.
you can probably get close to plus 200 on Denny on a top 10.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah. So I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to tie to them.
Is signed here?
I mean, he's fucking usually attached to our hip. Signed, are you here, buddy? But my goal is to get Harvick and Bell in the top 10 mark.
Last night he brought up a bet that I really like that I think we could tie to this, and that was, I don't know what book it was on. It's probably like one that you can get and I can't.
The Rhodes matchup?
Yeah, Ben Rhodes minus 120 over Stu Friesen in the truck race. Stu Friesen's been dog crap all year.
Is that parlayable though?
Like, I don't know what book it was. That's why I was asking if he was here.
Yeah, he's here. He'll answer as soon as he hears it. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to trust Gavin, that fucking mutt, to get me home. Superbook.
Yeah, see, you can do it. I can't.
Yeah.
But see, I kind of look at that as like how I had Sammy Smith over Chandler Smith last week.
Right. Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. Fucking Fred. All right, so my goal is to get on Harvick and Bell with somebody. Check the website. You don't want
to get on Denny.
Yeah, I'm not against getting on Denny either. I think he'll be in the top 10. I'm not against.
Those are the three I want to target.
Yeah. Check the website, barstoolquest.com. The picks are there. Or get in the Sports Keg Discord. Go to our Twitter account right now. There's a link right there in the last tweet or second to last tweet that I sent out. And you can hop in the Discord with us and find out what we're on every single day in every sport. So Coop and I we're gonna target Harvick, Bell, and Denny in the top 10 market. Coop and I had a long talk this week about manufacturer because this was the first week that you could kind of fade Chevy this week. I mean, unless Byron's car is so ridiculous that the kid just does it again. But it's Ford or Toyota, right? It has to be.
Well, it's Toyota or Kevin Harvick in my mind. That's what's keeping me off of betting Ford.
I said to you, was there a place that we could find better numbers, basically, and exploit the same type of bet? And then you brought up a couple groups to me. What were they again?
It's Kevin Harvick and Chris Bell over, and one of them it's Truex and Larson, and the other one's Byron and Larson.
Okay, so that's Group A at Barstool. Harvick and Bell plus 225, plus 260 against Kyle Larson and Marty. I don't really have a problem fading Kyle Larson this week.
Right.
Now I'm kind of on the fence about Truex, though.
Right. And the other one is they're 250 and 310 against Byron and Larson. And I'm leaning toward that one because I would rather take my shots on Byron not being as good as Truex. No, it sounds crazy, but
yeah, no, I get it. Any other groups that you saw that you liked?
No, those are the only two, to be honest.
Looking at Group B, Blaney and Reddick, Bowman and Logano, no real interest there. Unless you were just going to shoot your shot on Tyler Reddick.
I'm already shooting one on him.
Yeah, Keselowski and Buscher, Berry and Suarez. I have no.
What do you think about Josh Berry this week?
I mean,
you're the Berry man.
I am the Berry man, and Elliott's car is always good, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to quantify the little time that he has in this Cup car, because I do think he's a very good driver.
And when is Josh Berry at his best in Xfinity? What type of races?
Tire wear places?
Yeah.
You think? What do you think? You think he cracks the top 10 this week?
Yeah, but I mean the top 10 number is not that great.
Let's go back and see what his top 10 number is. Josh Berry, where are you?
I think this is his best opportunity of the races that he's driven in this car to have a very good result and finish.
Plus 150. That's just crazy. I can't bet that.
You're betting the car. You're not betting the driver.
Right. Oh, matchups. I bet 2 matchups. I took Reddick over Busch at plus 110 at DraftKings. I took Reddick over Marty at even money at DraftKings. I like them. I think Reddick's going to be better than both of them, although I do worry a little bit more than I did about Marty now. But
did you make that bet today?
I'm not sure. Plus money though, I don't know, maybe. I think Reddick's going to have a top 3 or 4 car. I don't know if I could say that about Truex.
No. Yeah, there was only one matchup I was keen on, and I told it I missed out on it in one book, and that was Harvick over Larson. FanDuel had him at minus 108, and now he's minus 134. So I should have taken the minus 108. You can still get it at minus 115 on DK. So that's one I'm thinking about.
What do you think about Harvick? What do you think about Harvick at even money against Byron?
Yeah, that one I saw too. But I'm not going to take the group and then the head-to-head.
Yeah.
It's one or the other, and I would rather try to win the group.
I'll buy that. Other than that, I don't mind Ryan Blaney at plus 110 against Kyle Busch. I think Blaney's going to run well. I don't like it enough to bet it, but
usually not a Ryan Blaney's going to run well type of guy.
I know I'm not. I think he's going to run well though on Sunday. Is he going to compete with the cars that you and I bet on? I'm not sure, but I think he's going to be decent. All right. After that, did you look at any top Ford, top Chevy, top Toyota this week?
Yeah, I did. Toyota's just too. I mean, it's Hamlin, Hamlin, Bell, and Truex against Reddick, Gibbs, and Wallace, and I'm not going to try to beat them.
Coop, that price on Tyler Reddick, bro, is downright disrespectful.
I know, but I'm not going to bet it. I mean, I think there's a better place to go.
I can't believe he's almost 6-1.
Yeah.
But Bell and Denny and even Marty, you never know. Yeah. I get it.
I can't do Toyota. Ford, it's basically like what it was last week. Cindric against the field. This week it's Harvick against the field. And I'm not going to try to beat Kevin Harvick here.
What do you think about what if we just took him to be the top Ford instead of having to parlay his top 10 to somebody?
What is it, like 150?
165 at Barstool right now. I think that he's got a very good chance to be the top Ford.
Well, do you think he has a good? Which do you think he has a better chance at, being a top Ford or being a top 10?
I think he's going to either win the race or finish second this week, and I don't see another Ford that. I mean, maybe if you I can't even say that about Ryan Blaney. The dude hasn't won a race in 45 years. I can't even say that about Ryan Blaney. I think this is another week where you just knew Cindric was going to be probably going to be the top Ford. I think Harvick is there's a better chance than most. That's why the dude is plus 165 this week. I just don't see anybody. If he stays clean, we cash that bet.
Where is he at? Is that a Barstool?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on a minute. I don't have those. He's 175 at 365.
That's not bad, Coop. I mean, if he stays clean, how does he not finish the top Ford this week?
I mean, I don't mind it, but I still think you got to take the shot at the top 10 because the top 10 is better than him being a top 4 in my mind.
You're saying if we should bet both? You're saying?
Yeah.
Well, it would back the bet up if somehow he gets beat by another Ford.
Right.
Yeah, I'll buy that. I guess.
I'll buy it. I guess.
I think that's worth betting. Plus 175.
Like, and then the other piece goes back to, I think you can get Ford to win at 200.
Yeah, but what if Denny finishes? What if it's Bell, Denny, Harvick?
Right. That's, I guess, kind of why I don't want to bet that. Not top, but manufacturer wins.
Right.
Because I like the 250 number that we can get on Toyota, but Kevin Harvick scares me.
So why don't we take Toyota to win the race and Kevin Harvick to be the top Ford and back ourselves up with him to crack the top 10?
Because what you're saying is, like, we would still make money even if he won.
Like if Denny wins the race and he finishes second, we hit all three.
Right. I'm with you. Sleep on it. I like the first two. I'm still, I don't know, for whatever reason, the top Toyota to win. Excuse me. I don't know. I guess Kevin Harvick scares me.
Gavin,
I'm more inclined to like that.
Gavin said, "Find me a 30-1 winner, or I don't even want to watch the video." Now you and I, Coop, we are a victim of our own results. You understand? That it's unbelievable.
Right.
It's unbelievable. The disrespect. All right. After that, anything else you see?
Yeah, I think I wanna try to beat Byron and Larson in the top Chevy.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him.
I'm just looking at the numbers.
Go ahead.
I mean, Kyle Busch 500, Chastain 800, Bowman 900. Maybe this is how we get Josh Berry. Maybe he's the top Chevy.
Hold on, let me pull up the odds. Man, it's like suicide watch trying to fade Will Byron right now. Bush 5.5 to 1, Bowman 7.5 to 1. Chastain 7.5 to 1. Berry 13 to 1. Suarez. What about you? Like Austin Dillon? Think he could be the top Chevy at 1?
See, that's the thing. Like, I have more confidence in Dillon than I do Suarez. I would bet Dillon before Suarez. I don't think I would have Suarez in that bet. I would just take my chances that he's not.
So who would you want to take?
Bush, Chastain, Bowman, Berry, and Dillon.
Bush, Chastain, Bowman, Berry, and Dillon.
Like, I don't think we're worried about Kyle Larson.
I agree with that, but I mean, I bet Byron to win, so I think he's going to run well, but I'm not necessarily against this though, because I'm with you. I don't think Kyle Larson is a factor on Sunday, which gives us a leg up to bet top Chevy more than most weeks, right?
So let me ask you this question. Why don't you think Kyle Larson is a factor on Sunday?
Because he's been fast, right? But if he hasn't been out front, we've seen him fall through the field a couple times so far this year. And like, when you think of Kyle Larson, do you think a master of tires?
No, I mean, that's the question we've been asking ourselves. Is he a master of tires, or is he a master of riding the wall?
Well, I definitely think it's the wall. Definitely.
Well, yeah, he's definitely a master of riding the wall.
But so far this year, don't get me wrong, he's been a little unlucky in terms of his finishes. But it seems like if he's not a front runner, that car in traffic is nowhere near as good as Will Byron's.
Mm-hmm.
So I think eventually he will slowly fall through the field.
Okay.
What about you?
No, I wanted to know why you didn't like Larson. Because then maybe I could prove a point of, maybe you're not as high as on Byron, but you took it a different way. So, I can't say anything about Byron, and that's why I was asking.
Okay. I like this angle though. I like the prices more, really.
Right. But I mean, I could see Josh Berry finishing 5th.
Yeah.
Ahead of all of them.
I could see that.
If everything works out right for him.
Right.
I mean, we know he's got a good car. He just hasn't had the chance to drive it right. And this is, like I said, his best opportunity to show his skills in that car, in my opinion.
You think
this is what, his 3rd race?
Yes. Because somebody else was in the car.
Yeah.
Once,
they
right?
hit
Yeah.
Right, last week.
Yeah. You think that you would feel comfortable leaving Kyle Busch off that list too?
No. Would you feel comfortable leaving Ross Chastain off of it?
No, but his number's way better. Because if we take 5 guys and Busch gets there, I mean, we're going to scrape what? A unit, basically?
No. We're going to parlay a motherfucker.
Coop, we have to have an intervention, bro. I've created a monster. I want to go back to the old way. Can we go back to the old way?
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Look
what I did. Everybody in the chat's like, what'd you do to him? I don't know.
I mean, find me go find a minus 150 odd And what do you get off of 500? Like 1,200?
I'll tell you right now. Adam Meyer said, "Parlay the motherfucker," quoted by Reed Cooper. Oh, I've made a terrible mistake. This guy. All right, so I'm just going to take a random baseball play. So if I parlayed it with the Padres at -160, you would get 10-1.
All right, it needs to be better than that.
That's -160 though.
Yeah, I think what's 130?
Fuck, I want my old guy back, man. I don't like this Coop. Trying to find a -130 right now is like impossible.
Really? Come on.
I'm looking, bro. Believe me.
I mean, -140, 125, something.
All right.
I'm not picky.
All right, -130 gives you plus 1050.
That's not much more. Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay. I guess that's what I'm going to have to settle for then. Because I'm not, I don't know what to look around. But I think my point is, if you remove Will Byron from that, Bush, Chastain, Bowman, Barry, Austin Dillon, I think I could see any one of them being the top ship.
Yeah, I buy that. I buy that. But you're not going to bet a unit on each, right? Like, how are you going to break it up?
Depends how much money you can give me for. How much odds? I mean, I lost fucking $500 last week on Cal Busch finishing second.
I know, bro. Believe me, I get it. Alabama cost me thousands. The fucking team.
But the other two legs of that parlay were like cakewalks.
I know. Yeah, definitely. All right, so Coop and I, if you're in the Keg Discord, whatever we end up doing with the top Chevy, it will be in the NASCAR bets room. Like I said, go to our Twitter account and hop in there. And other than that, I think we went through every single market. The outrights that Coop and I are on together: Tyler Reddick, Kevin Harvick, and Chris Bell. Coop is on also a fourth driver, Denny Hamlin. I'm on a fourth driver, Will Byron. But we did not bet them at these odds. Our odds range from 12-1 to 25-1. So that's where we're at. I will probably get on Denny Hamlin with Coop before the race on Sunday. I have to think about it a little more, but probably, because I think he's in contention and he could easily win the race. In terms of matchups, I took Tyler Reddick at plus 110 over Kyle Busch and at even money over Truex. We have not bet the top 3 market. We have not bet the top 5 market. The top 10 market, we are going to attack Kevin Harvick, Chris Bell, and Denny Hamlin. But we're not going to bet those prices. We're going to try to get the numbers down. But those are the 3 guys that we're going to target. And then in the group I'm probably not going to bet any groups this week. I'll be honest. I'm probably going to stay away. Coop is still looking. He's not sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like a lot of it is going to come down to that top Chevy and what we can find out.
Right.
Because like if I would rather go that way than the group of Harvick and Bell beating Byron and Larson, because I don't want to bet both of them and then Byron and Larson put me in the grave.
Right. Right. Yeah, so we still have to figure out what we're going to do with the top Chevys. Oh, one more thing. I'm probably going to bet Kevin Harvick to be the top Ford at plus 175. I'm going to try to get Coop on that too, because I think he's going to be the top Ford, and that's a good number. And I guess that's it in terms. Oh, real quick before we go, as soon as this show's over, I'll tweet out another stream, and we're going to go live for the main card of Bellator 293 in about 10 minutes. But real quick, Coop.
You're going live for an MMA, and you can't get me a parlay?
It's
that's right. I got to get with Clint.
How fucking dare you? I mean, how? Don't get me wrong. Clint's my guy. But how dare you? It's you know why, Coop? It's Bellator and PFL this weekend. It's not UFC. And
is that like USFL and XFL or something? Whatever the hell that shit's called.
It's like AAA baseball. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I am gonna go bet it as soon as we're done with this show. But before we go, quickly, Xfinity, Coop's on Sammy Smith and Allgaier to win at Richmond. I have not bet anything yet in Xfinity. I agree with Coop on the Sammy Smith call. My only concern with Junior Motorsports is that Coop and I were dogging JRM early this week about how bad they've looked this year. And then he goes and bets Allgaier because he's a monster at saving tires. But I don't know if I can get there.
He's the freaking Kevin Harvick of Xfinity.
I know, but Coop, they've looked so bad. They've looked so bad. I don't know. I gotta think about the Allgaier call, but I'm with Coop on Sammy Smith. I agree. I'm gonna bet him too. Trucks, Coop. Did you bet anything in trucks yet?
I have. Actually, I did. I bet Carson Hocevar plus 120 over Stu Friesen.
Why are you hating on our guy Stewart so much this week?
He hasn't been good this year, man.
Gun to your head, who wins the race?
Wow.
They price Zane like he's Harvick.
I don't think Zane's going to win. It's in Texas, so that means no passing.
Right.
They also are doing the modified pit stops because the crew members are in Richmond. So there's no live pit stops. So the only way you can gain track position is on the track. You can't gain it through pit stops.
Are they gonna? They'll have P&Q, right?
Yeah, but it's not on TV.
Brutal.
So I really think it comes down to qualifying, and if you want to take a long shot,
go ahead.
I haven't bet it, and I don't think I'm going to bet it.
If you say something like Haley Deegan
Chase Purdy and Jack Wood, only because they're in the KBMs and they're going to qualify well. I don't know if they have the skills to stay up there though, but I think this is probably one of the better shots at them, having a shot to win. But again, Eckes and Ben Rhodes have been really fast all year. So
yeah,
if I were to bet somebody, it'd be Eckes.
I think that he's probably a top 3 truck. I'm not sure about who else did you say besides Zekis?
Some guy named Ben Rhodes.
Oh yeah, my guy Benny. That now everybody likes to blow. Yeah, I know. Your guy Jack Wood had his moment in the sun for a minute before he wrecked his car. I thought he was going to win that race at 100-1 or 80-1.
Yeah, I think the other one that you got to look at is Nick Sanchez because he's in that KBM truck basically too.
All right, we'll be live tomorrow all day, both races. We have the final four. Sunday, Coop and I will be live for the Cup race. And that's it, boys. We're out of here. I hope your action runs pure. I used to say that all the time. And we'll be live in about 5 minutes. I'll tweet out the link for Bellator 293. See you in a couple. Later.